Hey there, my name is Avery. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for clicking on this vid. This is my first video on YouTube, well, on BookTube. I have been a big reader my whole life and have been a big watcher of BookTube for years, and I decided that maybe I would dip my toe in the water and try making my own videos. If you enjoy this video and are interested in taking this journey with me, then go ahead and subscribe, but no pressure. If you're not sure, if you're on the fence, then don't worry about it. Do what feels right to you. And I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. So speaking of this video, today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in January and the books that I am going to read in February. So let's just get started. The first book that I read in January was Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. So I have been a big fan of the Sense and Sensibility movie for a long time. It's definitely probably one of my top 5 movies of all time. So I love the movie and I love reading, and we all know that the book is usually better. So I picked it up and I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It is beautiful. It's just definitely one of my favorite books of all time now. So for those of you who may not know what it's about, it is a story about Marianne and Eleanor Dashwood, and their father has recently died and all of his money goes to his son because we love the patriarchy back then. So the girls and their mother are left virtually penniless and go to live at a cottage on the estate of their uncle, who they don't really know, but who is nice enough to let them come live there. And the book follows both Eleanor and Marianne as they deal with love, try to find husbands, and try to find good matches for them. There is a lot of tea. There are secret engagements and scandals with the men that the girls are involved with, and it's a lot. It's a lot of tea, it's a lot of drama, and who doesn't love a cup of piping hot tea? Everyone. So I think it's great. I think it's for everyone. Not only is there a lot of romance and slow burn romance, but the importance of family is also in here, and really like the root relationship in the book is between the sisters, Eleanor and Marianne, and that was one reason I really loved it, their friendship, and it reminded me a lot of me and my sister because we are also really different like Eleanor and Marianne are, but they still love each other and would do anything for each other, which is better than any romance. Am I right, ladies? So yeah, I really enjoyed the book. 10 out of 10 would recommend to everyone. The next book that I read was The Book Charmer by Karen Hawkins. So my mom got this for me for Christmas because of the premise of the book. It's called The Book Charmer because it is about this girl named Sarah Dove who can talk to books. And she uses the special gift that she has to help people in her town because the books tell her who needs them. And so she's able to give the books to people who are in need of them, and that's a special gift that she has. So Sarah grows up to become the librarian of her town, Dove Pond. Little does she know that Dove Pond is in a really bad place financially, and the future of the town is not looking so great. Here enters Grace Wheeler, who is a city slicker. She is a city girl who has to move to Dove Pond because of some family situations. And the books tell Sarah that Grace is going to be the savior that the town needs. So the book follows Sarah trying to befriend Grace, who is very closed off and doesn't really want anything to do with anybody. And they have to work together to save the town, basically. There's also a little romance between Grace and another character, which we love. But the essence of the book is really about friendship and about family that you meet in your life who is not related to you by blood, and how anyone can be your family as long as they love you and are there for you. So I thought it was really great. I read it in a few days because I was just really drawn in by it. I thought it was just going to be kind of like a beach read, like trashy type book, which I mean, it kind of is like one of those lighthearted beach reads, but it was still really great and I really loved it, and would definitely recommend it. The next book, and my favorite book that I read this month, was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. So I know that this was popular on BookTube a few years ago, so I'm kind of late to the game, but it's always been on like my list of books that I want to read, and I was like, if I ever come across it, then maybe I'll pick it up. And I was at a used bookstore, and they had this really nice hardback copy of it for like $9, so I was like, scoop that right up. I loved it. The story just drew me in from the first few pages. I thought it was really amazing. I haven't had a story really draw me in and get me that interested so quickly. So I became very invested in the characters very quickly. And I laughed while I read it. I cried a lot while I read it. I haven't cried that hard during a book in a long time. Like, I can't even think of one that I've cried as much as I did in this one. So it shook me, it rocked me. But so, Strange the Dreamer is a fantasy book about Laszlo Strange, who is a librarian who has been obsessed with the lost city of Weep. Ever since he was a kid, he heard stories of the city of Weep and became obsessed with it, so that when he grew up to become a librarian, he did tons of research to find out as much as he could about the city. And no one else really cares about the city, they just write it off as an old legend. But Laszlo knows that it's real, and he is determined to get to the mystery of what happened to it. One day while he's working at the library, a band of legendary warriors from the city of Weep come calling for scholars and professionals who can help them solve this problem that they have. But Laszlo knows that this is his opportunity to figure out what happened to this city that he is obsessed with and that he knows so much about. On his journey, he comes into contact with a blue-skinned goddess in his dreams, and he has to figure out how she ties into Weep and the mystery and what happened there centuries ago. Anyway, I thought it was amazing. I definitely understand the hype about it, and I'm really excited to read the next one. So those are the books that I read and finished in January, but I kind of have a honorable mention. Well, it's not really honorable, but I started 1984 by George Orwell. I've wanted to start reading some more classics, and even though I never had to read this in high school, I still had it, and so I thought I'd give it a try because I do want to expand my horizons and see if I'm interested in other types of books than what I usually read. I got a few chapters in and I got bored, so I put it down and I picked up Strange the Dreamer. And that's okay. I think we should normalize not finishing books that you aren't interested in and not feeling like you have to read classics just because they're classics. I think it's good to say, I want to try reading classics and see what the hype's about, but if you don't enjoy it, then don't read it. Like, for example, I picked up Sense and Sensibility, which is a classic, and I loved it because it incorporated the things that I love in books, like romance, friendship, family. And so I really enjoyed it, and that's why I enjoyed this classic. But you shouldn't read like a dystopian book like 1984 if it's not something that you are interested in, just because it's a classic. Anyway, so let me hop off the soapbox real quick, but I just thought that was important, and I feel strongly about that. Okay, so let's talk about my February TBR. First book that I want to read is the sequel to Strange the Dreamer, which is called Muse of Nightmares, but I don't have it with me because I haven't bought it yet. I might read it on my Kindle, but I'm really excited to read that one. I'm not going to talk about it that much, obviously, because then it will spoil Strange the Dreamer if you haven't read that one yet. But the next book that I want to read is a book that is like super talked about right now, especially on TikTok, like book talk, which is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So I read The Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo, and I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I read Crooked Kingdom, I think, in like 9 hours in like one day. So I was excited to see that she came out with this kind of adult fantasy book. I'm not sure how much fantasy is in it, but it's kind of like a new age adult book. So the premise of this book is that Alex has had a really hard upbringing and has been involved in, has had a really rough past and has even kind of been a part of this crazy multiple homicide, and she's gone through it. But she mysteriously gets the chance to be able to attend Yale. From what I can tell, she has these mysterious benefactors who are sending her to Yale. And when she gets there, she gets pulled into the world of secret societies there, and I think there's some magic involved. And I don't really know what else happens, but that was enough to pull me in. I'm pretty sure it's got a little dark academia vibe, which we love. So I'm really excited for this one. And obviously it's been hyped up a lot, so I'm sure that it's good. The next book I hope to read this month is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So I loved Sense and Sensibility, and I love Pride and Prejudice, the movie. Keira Knightley, queen, we stan her. So I was like, well, once again, the book has to be great because all books are better than the movies. So I'm really excited to read this, just to hop on the train. I love Jane Austen. Well, I've only read Sense and Sensibility, but I love a lot of her movies, so I plan to go and read through all of her works because I think she's great. So I'm excited to read Pride and Prejudice. I don't think I'm gonna really talk about the synopsis of Pride and Prejudice. I feel like everyone knows about Pride and Prejudice. So I'm excited to read this. The next book I'm excited to read is Lunch in Paris, A Love Story with Recipes by Elizabeth Bard. And I'm pretty sure this is a memoir, actually. My mom got this for me because it has many things that I love. Paris, which I've been to before and I think it's a beautiful city. Love, we love a love story. And recipes. I've gotten super into cooking recently, so I'm very excited for this. It's basically just a story, and interspersed is recipes along the way. So I'm excited to read through the story and then be able to flag recipes that I want to cook. So I'm really hyped about this. I'm not gonna do a synopsis. I'm just gonna read kind of the little blurb that's on the inside jacket, and it says, "In Paris for a weekend visit, Elizabeth Bard sat down to lunch with a handsome Frenchman and never went home again." You're kidding, right? That's everyone's dream, is to go to Paris, sit down for lunch with a handsome Frenchman, and then literally never go home. Just stay. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a great story, and it's a true story, so that's gonna give me hope. I'm gonna live vicariously through Miss Bard, and I'm excited. And once again, the whole recipe aspect, so I think that's super cool. So the next book, I'm not sure if I'm going to read this. I don't have it with me, but I would love to get your opinions if you have read it in the comments, is the Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo again. Like I said, I loved the Six of Crows books, and so I know that the Shadow and Bone series are set in the same universe, and there is the Netflix show that's coming out that has characters from both the Six of Crows and the Shadow and Bone series. So I was like, well, should I read the Shadow and Bone series before the show comes out so that way I can know all the characters? But I have heard that some people don't like the Shadow and Bone series as much as Six of Crows. So I'm still trying to decide if I want to give that series a try. I might, we'll see. Once again, let me know in the comments if you've read them and if you think they're good, if you think they're worth it. I still have some time before the show comes out, so I don't really have to decide right away. Those are the books that I plan on reading for pleasure in February. I'm an English major, so I have to read some books for my classes, so I don't get to read as many of personal books that I'd like to read. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed. I really did. I hope you did. I hope you had a good time. And if you did, then give this video a thumbs up or subscribe so that you can see when I post another video. Feel free to leave some comments discussing some of the books that I talked about, because I don't really have lots of friends who like to read. It's pretty much just my mom. So, I mean, I love talking to her about books, but I would love to talk to some more people. So yeah, also leave comments if you have any other video ideas that you'd like to see me do. I'd be open to any suggestions. So thank you once again for sticking it out. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, that's dope. Honestly, you're a real one. You're a homie. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.